Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing the cheapest deck I may have ever played on this channel. Basically, it is just mono white with a whole bunch of plains, a few Wastelands, some Lotus Petal so we get some acceleration, and a ton of very good creatures. We got the Guided Souls Ocelot Pride combo in here. Thalia is really good when you warp her and then blink her with Thalia. Same thing with Starfield Shepherd, which, by the way, can grab either Guided Souls or an Ocelot Pride or even a Mother of Runes, which is a sweet card since the meta has become more creature-oriented. We've got Witch Enchanter here that doubles as a land and as artifact / enchantment removal. We've got Plow, the best removal spell ever printed, and we've got Solitude, which is also an excellent way to just get rid of like redundant copies of Thalia or Thalia or Thalia, our legendary creatures. I am running 4 Thalia because she's so strong. I am running 4 Thalia with the notion that, like, worst case scenario, we can like warp her, gain some life. She sees artifacts that come into play too, so it's quite possible we'll be able to draw cards with her. Sideboard is just 4 copies of Deafening Silence for combo matchups, specifically Storm, which is now a top 10 deck on MTGO, or according to the MTG Goldfish meta. We've got 3 Clarion Conquerors in here. This is the best thing you can be doing against a lot of like Planeswalker-oriented decks, a lot of big mana decks. We also have Damping Sphere, which is good against the big mana decks. We've got 3 Disruptor Flutes, which are going to come in against Show and Tell, Doomsday, and we've got 4 Leyline of the Void for our graveyard strategies. First round started. Let's jump in. Opponent plays a broad range of decks. This hand is turn 1 Guided Souls into Thalia. I think that's good enough. We have Solitude as well. We can Starfield Shepherd. We just need them to not waste our Karakas. We have a total of 21 lands plus 4 Lotus Petals, so there's a decent chance that we'll draw something good here. Guided Souls is not Bowmasterable too, which is nice. Now we have to ask the question, do we want to just float this out there and then play? By the way, I'm only playing 1 Karakas, so we don't need to worry about drawing multiple Karakases. I think it's great to have one, and there's diminishing marginal value to having more than one. But in some decks, I can understand why you don't want to have multiple. So we could leave with Witch Enchanter, and if that gets wasted, it's not a big deal. It isn't a utility card, but I think it's fine to just leave with this. And we've basically tipped our hand. Like, we're not a multicolor deck because multicolor decks generally don't play Karakas. We're on the Guided Souls Ocelot Pride combo because those two always come part and parcel. Opponent plays a Swamp, fetching a red source. Okay. Collective Brutality. They're just killing it. That's fine. That's a 1-for-1. Options. 1, we just jam Tamio, or we jam Thalia, and we could do it with a Wasteland, which means that they'll have to waste their Karakas. They won't be able to kill Thalia. I kind of like that. We'll have Karakas up to protect her. If they kill her, though, it's not that big of a deal. What will we use this mana for? I think I'm just going to do that. I value keeping her around, and I can pitch the other one to... yeah, let's do this. So she's protected. And they could Bowmaster, and we'd have to bounce her out of the play. I suspect they're playing Bowmaster. They've got some sweet basics here, by the way. Looks like an older set, like Unglued or something like that. Sick looking Swamp. Okay, they're not doing anything here. I might just waste that. We'll see what happens here. So what are the odds a black-red deck is playing enchantments? I think it's probably unlikely. I'm going to go ahead and go to combat and see what they do. Okay, we get through. That's nice. I do kind of want to waste here and just see what they do. And then I can just... Okay, they're F6. I'm going to go ahead and shock this. Bolt it, rather. And I'm just going to... I don't want to go off of protecting her, but I think it's fine to go off protecting her. Maybe they're going to Fatal Push her now. That would be efficient use of mana, but I think they're just F6 through the turn. I do think we want to get a Guided Souls here. It's the best card. And we'll eventually cast this from Warp. We could have gotten a Plains to make that more likely, but I'm totally fine with just taking it slow. If they want to waste me a couple times, that's fine too. I've got a clock. They scooped to that. Wow, what are they playing? I'm trying to think of combo decks that would be playing that. I don't know what they're playing, so I think I'm just going to leave my deck exactly the same as it is. Like black-red aggro, Jund, something like that maybe. Collective Brutality. They could be on a graveyard strategy. I think I'm going to board these in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out I'll take out Solitude. I don't know. I gotta hurry. Okay, I'll do that just in case. Just in case. My Collective Brutality seems like the kind of card because it's a discard enabler. I don't know why you would play that outside of a discard deck. And yeah, if I had more time to think, but like I already submitted, I think I can take these out, bring these back in. If we have time, we don't. Okay, so my Solitudes are in the sideboard. This is an easy mulligan. And one of the great things is when you're playing like a low lane count, when you have Leyline, you're going to probably be mulliganing a lot anyway. I think we mulligan one more time. This is not setting the world on fire. This is too many lands. Come on, Leyline. All right, I'll keep that. And we've got a strong hand. This can go back. Do I want to put back Thalia? I think I do. What I'll do is I'll put back this land and I'll just stamp out guides for the first few turns. This is unimpeachable mana here. Hopefully that is impactful. I mean, red-black, like I have to assume they're on some sort of reanimator strategy. We got the land. And now we've got like a pretty clear beeline for victory, like Guide of Souls into Thalia. That's very strong. Looks like they're going to kill this. That's fine. It's a 1-for-1. They have 5 cards over there. They didn't mulligan twice like we did. This is the combo. What a freaking draw. Holy cow. My opponent's going to be so upset. And we're going to start generating bodies. And Thalia will drop in and she'll help buff as well. Feeling good. And they may not be on graveyard strategy, but like that was just the vibe I got. If they like scoop pretty soon, then that'll probably be edifying of my instinct that they're on some sort of graveyard strategy. Okay, this is show and tell or sneak attack. All right, so we're dead. Maybe. We couldn't rip anything that could answer this. We just had to race it, sadly. I think the answer is we do Ocelot Pride, and we're just going to try to race this thing. I want to gain life, so I'll point this at this and max the life I gain. Yes, let's do it to this. And we're not quite going to be there in terms of City's Blessing, but we're getting close to getting out of Emrakul range. Okay, and we've got a lot of life. Okay, so this is probably Emrakul. Oh, Atraxa. That's not a big deal. They're going to get a bunch of cards, but unless they find like an Emrakul type card, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. They did find Moon Collapse, which could kill one of these creatures. Do they have another mean creature to put in? Gristlebrand. Okay, so we may actually lose now. Because they can just keep drawing cards and putting things into play. Oh, this... Yeah, I think we've lost now. We did great, but we couldn't beat that. So I'm still not sure if they're on a reanimation strategy, but this like would make sense as like a backup strat for reanimation. So this stops artifacts, creatures, planeswalkers. It does not stop enchantments, notably. We could go ahead and board this in for sneak attack. I do want to board this back in. I do think there's a risk that they're going to go through the graveyard, but I don't know that it's worth having 4 total bricks in our deck when this can potentially, like, they put sneak attack on this deck. We use this. They get a creature into their graveyard, and then we just name reanimate probably if they put something in their yard. Witch Enchanter does blow that thing up, but it's expensive. I think Thalia is pretty good here. I think Mother Runes can easily come out. I don't think it's going to be relevant. I don't want to touch my lands. I really like the idea of Thalia into Guide of Souls and drawing cards because our deck doesn't have a way to get ahead in terms of cards other than Thalia and Starfield Shepherd. So I think we want to keep those in if the game goes long, but the game may not go long. I think I'll cut a Starfield Shepherd because having that Thoughtseize reanimated would be kind of rough. No, it wouldn't really because it's just a 3/2 flyer. That's not going to beat us. I think I'll keep it in and then I'll take out a Plow. I think Solitude's better than Plow because it's free and we're going to be tapping out a lot. All right. Well, I definitely thought we were going to win the last game. This is pretty good. So Thalia sees this. Yeah, I think we keep this. I just wish I had another creature to put in because I'm so close to being able to get. So she sees herself. She draws. And then she sees this. And then if we could play another creature, I guess technically we can. We can play Thalia. And then she sees Thalia. And then we get a card. I think that's fine. And then we don't have any creature removal. We do have Wasteland, which might be helpful to keep them low on resources. I think I'm going to keep this. All right. And they kept 7. So we're not doing anything this turn. I could just play out the Witch Enchanter tapped. Gosh, maybe I shouldn't have kept this. Maybe this is too slow. I could play a turn 1 Thalia, and then I could start warping her. Is that good? So we warp her, we attack, we blink her, she comes back. We might draw another creature because we can warp her for 1 mana. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put Thalia on the table. And I can do that in the end step. And then if they have some sort of threat, we can blink it and attack them. I'm not sure what merit this will be. I imagine they're going to be slow here, but maybe they're not going to be slow. This could be Thoughtseize. I think we just let them Thoughtseize this here. Yeah, this is not going to present much of a threat to them, unfortunately. Like they could be Dark Ritualing and thankfully Entombs off the menu, but there's still a lot of things that could happen here. Okay, interesting. So they probably have a hand that has sneak attack. That may be the main way that they win. Okay, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, I can't, like I can do this warp, but it's still not enough to draw a card. I think going disruptive with Thalia might be better, but this will grow. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Warp. So I gain a life. Let's attack. And this is going to grow Thalia while also building my offensive. And then I'll just Thalia next turn. Hopefully it won't be too late. And it doesn't matter the sequence in which you do these. It's a different instance that warped. So she won't like accidentally. You don't have to worry about warping her out accidentally. Okay, what is this? Him? It's not that big of a deal. We've got the offensive, but like, unfortunately, like our Wasteland isn't doing anything here. Plow probably isn't doing anything. I think I just come across for all 6 damage. Yeah, I don't think we're winning here, unfortunately. Yeah, I think maybe we'll see what happens here. They're going to need like a Petal plus something to put the thing in. And if they put, okay, what is this? Feed the Swarm. This only triggers during my turn. So it's not like I can plow her now to get any benefit. Okay, that's dead. So we're just attacking. Let's go ahead and draw our card and see what we draw. Come on, something good, please. That's pretty good. I think I attack and then Disruptor Flute. They still don't have a threat in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm not going to waste them because if they put Sneak Attack on the stack, I can respond. They could put like Goryo's Vengeance or something like that. I can't remember what, like there are a lot of different cards to kind of cheat a mini into play. Okay, so this is Sneak Attack. They scooped. We got it. Okay. That card, Disruptor Flute, is very flexible and it's, I mean, like I've been talking about how blue is becoming less potent as they create like can't be counter type stuff, like the Hexing Squelcher, and Disruptor Flute is essentially like kind of like a blue card that's available in any color in a way. So I definitely think like even if blue ceases to be like, as long as they keep giving us good solutions in every color, then we can still play kind of budget decks like this and still be able to stop combo to an extent. All right, my opponent, whom I've interacted with a lot on the Aluren Discord, is likely on Aluren. I think the line is turn 1. I mean, Plow is how you break up Aluren. Aluren's a slow deck, though. It's like a critical turn 3, turn 4. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Plains, Mom, and I can have the Petal out too. And then next turn, I can like. There's not really any benefit to Fellioing now. It does a little more damage, but I don't think this is like, it's not like the previous matchup where we had to race. I'm gonna keep though. Mom is good in fair matchups, and this is kind of, well, let's see. They've been playing a build. This is from a few days ago, but this is notably before Formidable Speaker was printed. I think the Formidable Speaker brews may do other stuff. Okay, that's good. Hopefully that sticks. I guess I play this out just in case I need to plow something, but I don't think it's likely to matter. I definitely don't want to plow something. I'd rather Thalia next turn if I break on land. They said this is certainly a combination of cards. And I just respond, I'm a brewer. I brew different combinations. It may seem counterintuitive to play Lotus Petal in a Plains deck instead of just playing Aether Vial, but it makes sense. I think it's defensible. You don't have to play Chrome Mox, which is what people have traditionally played in their white decks. Chrome Mox costs a lot of money. They said, I don't know what to expect now, like Bomberman or something. I'm just going to do the happy eyes and let them suffer. Suffer the ambiguity. Suffer like G did. We definitely suffered the previous round not knowing what they were on. Okay. So blue, most likely. Witch Enchanter get in. I mean, if they're on Aluren, then obviously Witch Enchanter is good, but we can't cheat Aluren. We can't cheat Witch Enchanter into play. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'll pay the life so I can keep my Petal around. I'm just going to... Do I want to Thalia now? I think I'm going to Thalia and hope to jam them up a little bit, and then I can start attacking next turn. They're fetching. So this has to fight on the stack. If we get a force out of their hand, that's great. Brainstorm before Thalia locks things down. That's fine. I will allow it. Note that I'm not playing another excellent white card, Spirit of the Labyrinth, in this deck, but you can absolutely do that. I do think that that's better in the Vial builds, because then you can jump in and surprise, like Spirit of the Labyrinth, like they activate Vial on 2, and they're like, oh no, it's a Bowmaster. No, it's so much worse, Spirit of the Labyrinth. But again, we're not playing it. I decided I just wanted to play like cheap creatures and keep things light. There are already quite a few Bowmaster targets in our deck between Mom and Thalia and Ocelot Pride. I didn't want to like go overboard with them, but I mean that could be a strategy, overloading your opponent's Bowmasters. They're at 8 cards in hand. They do have the land drop. All right, so I'm going to keep attacking here. I can put Thalia on the table next turn. This is fine. We can always hardcast Solitude later. We go across here. All right, and keep in mind they're a combo deck, so the more time we give them, the better for them. But we are going to get Thalia on the table, which will start to accelerate things. They've got the Thalia of their own. I think I'm just going to plow this immediately so they get 0 value from it. And they're tapped out, so they can't even daze here. Yeah, I just want to not deal with her. She can come down on my side of the table. Thalia for me, not for thee. It's worth noting that if we play out Thalia, then we don't have Solitude in case we have to emergency counter some sort of Aluren creature. That is a mana base. Look at that. Aether Channeler. Return target permanent to his owner's hand. Draw a card. Okay, they're probably just going to choose the bird, I would imagine. If they target my stuff, I can just, protect it. Draw a card. That's fine. You can have a card. You already have 6 in hand. I think mana is the main way that they're jammed up here. Do we want to go and get Thalia on the table? She dies. She crashes into this and dies, which is kind of sad. I think I'm going to hold her just for now, because that also gives me the Petal. And if I can play a Solitude out, it's a lot better than... Okay, and I can play a Solitude, so I'm glad I held. I am not doing a lot of damage. This confirms Aluren. The only deck that plays this is Aluren. So we can Thalia in the end step after everything's clear, and then we'll have Solitude up with mana, so we don't need to hold a white card. I mean, this does get bounced back to their hand if they have shenanigans, but I think I'm just going to take it. I don't want to, drop my guard. Recruiter of the Guard is a good card. Very good card. Let's see. This might get... So if they're on this, they're probably not on a Steam speaker. They get another Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, they're taking the slow train over there, which I totally respect. I think that's totally fine. They're not they're not a Yorion strategy, so we don't really have anything to worry about from that angle. Wow, we're drawing a lot of land. There's no merit to not playing it out. I'm just going to attack with everything here. I'm going to go ahead and just blink this Petal so I can get my Thalia more stacked. Okay, and so far, no reason to Solitude anything. They're 12. Thalia will grow. We get our Petal back. They're fetching. Probably surveilling. I'm excited. We're getting to play against some brews, which I love. I have no problem playing against net decks and stuff, but it is cool to see people experimenting and doing cool new things. So they tap out for Aluren. That's 5 mana. And then I just wait and interrupt their combo. And I am an Aluren player, so I know where to interrupt. This is fine. This resolves. If Harpy resolves, I can't fight her anymore. So I basically need to wait. Gosh, I think they may be able to win. Because if Harpy goes on the stack, that's that. I need to see what Harpy's... But once Harpy goes on the stack, yeah, I can't stop this. They don't have any counter magic, but Harpy... Oh, they might be able to get Arctic Merfolk here. They got Cavern Harpy. Okay, so Harpy can just bounce this a bunch of times to win the game. But they can also bounce these. I think the game's just over. Yeah, sorry, folks. Couldn't beat that. I'm not going to show them any more of my deck. They have a deterministic win. Just trust me. Basically, what they can do is, it doesn't matter if, like, Harpy can always bounce back to hand and then recast, and they can just bounce this repeatedly. I mean, I could have exiled this. Maybe actually I did punt, because it can only, I'm not used to playing with these white creatures, but maybe they could have bounced. We don't know what they had in hand. I'll ask them. After the game, could you tell me what you had in hand? Okay, and Charble's pretty chill, so I think it's likely that they will tell me. And I'll find out whether I did any punt. Normally, I would say, oh, you're screwed. But because they're just going to bounce that thing, and then they can bounce. But I could have hit the blue card, and it's possible they didn't have gas. Sure, but the reason I did that line is that line was bait. Okay, so they probably had... It was 300% bait. So you had 3 other win cons in hand. Is what you're telling me. I was going to Solitude the blue dude, but I figured you had more lines. And even if we got through that, like, every top deck could be really anything. Once Aluren's out, their deck is just this insane combo machine. Now, Clarion Conqueror does shut down Aluren. Does so at instant speed. I like it. Deafening Silence only affects non-creature spells. Disruptor Flute can name Aluren. That's not really where I want to go. Damping Sphere does stop them from being able to do multiple things in a turn. They said, yeah, I had more. Okay, so it's just for the record, like, I did punt by conceding there, but it wouldn't have mattered, is what Charble's telling me. And I don't think they would lie. Okay, so their deck's mostly creature. I don't know that Thalia is particularly good. They also almost certainly have Bowmaster in their deck. Life is probably not a bottleneck. Thalia is really good, but we're bringing in 3 drops and a 2-drop. Like, I could just trim her. Yeah, these are all creatures, so it's fine. I'm trying to think, do any of these have... Oh, I'll take out the moms, because they're activated abilities, and that doesn't work with Clarion. Nothing else in my deck has activated abilities. And then I'll just bring back in a Thalia, because she's sweet. I love her so much. I think she's a really strong card. I think she's one of the more underrated recent additions to Legacy. I mean, this is a pretty good hand. This is a quick Clarion Conqueror, and they'll need removal. I can just turn 1, hold the plow, turn 2, Thalia, turn 3, Clarion Conqueror. I think that's good. One thing I might consider doing here is just turn 1ing the Thalia so they can't cast things. And then I can just use Starfield Shepherd to go get a Plains. I like that. I think Clarion Conqueror will do a lot, but it's contingent on him not getting killed somehow. And they are playing white, so they might have... I'm just going to do this. And hopefully this jams up their first turns if they were planning to brainstorm or do something like that. Okay, let's pass. One of my kids is crying like a baby back there, even though she's 10 years old. Something. I think the cat probably like scratched her or something. She's always teasing the cat. Sorry, I don't mean to be laughing at my kid suffering. I want to be an empathetic parent. Yeah, I mean, like, I think we just go get the dude that's really good. The Guide of Souls here. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll do that. They're not going to win out of nowhere. Like, they do have to resolve a 4-mana enchantment before they can win. If I had a Mom in the deck, the problem is Mom can never protect Clarion Conqueror because she's shut off when Clarion Conqueror's out. So I'll just grab a Guide. Again, I'm convinced that Guide is the reason to be playing white here. Like, it's just such an insane card. Starfield Shepherd will come out and help us close later if we stabilize. Backstreet's back again. I can waste that, but I'm almost certainly just going to jam the Conqueror. They've been an Aluren. Interesting. The fact that they haven't gone after my Thalia tells me that... Oh, Thalia... Okay, I think... what do I want to do here? I think I just Guide and Thalia and wait. Maybe waste them. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Because the main problem is, if they don't have mana, they're not going to win. So I think it makes sense to Guide first. Then I'll Thalia. Okay, and this is only 2 life. Because it sees itself and then this sees it too. But I get the energy as well. And I'm going to come across. I don't have the trigger yet. I will waste their Backstreet's back again. I'll wait till the end step. I could do it in their upkeep as well. Yeah, I'll just see if they want to shuffle. Because I do want to hit them all blue. Black is not the most important color. Okay. Okay, so they went to this step. So I'm going to go ahead and waste here. Hopefully they don't have like some flash creature that I just enabled. Okay. Technically they could have bowmastered me there, which would have been pretty bad. So I probably should have just, assumed that they weren't going to fetch a surveil land. Maybe they only play one, and I play two in my Aluren brew. But like bowmaster there would have been really rough. Okay, so now they have the blue source. All right, so I can't really do anything here, unfortunately. I can play out the Clarion Conqueror, which I guess I'll do. I'm sorry, I can't play it out. I can play out the Petal is what I meant to say. I am going to attack with both of these. And if they want to do something with Bowmasters, they can do it. I can plow it, but they can still take out one of my dudes. Okay. Next turn, we'll just Conqueror. Conqueror actually doesn't stop them from winning if they have the Dungeon Guy. They're fetching. This is a combo matchup, and it's a very stable, good combo deck that has a lot, like, good plan Bs and stuff. Ice Fang Quaddle, that's fine. We'll just cut right through that. They do get a card. But the important thing is they didn't find a land, and they're having to go to discard, which is pretty chill. Okay, Parasitic Strix. So this is one of their win cons. Again, they need this. They need to be able to bounce a whole lot. I don't think they're playing the Dungeon Guy because he takes forever to win. So we can cast Thalia here. I think it's better to just go ahead and jam Conqueror because it's a pretty big clock. And then next turn I'll go for Thalia if I've got the mana. They can't counter here because they're tapped out. Let's go across. Like we're pretty mana constrained this game. I wouldn't mind drawing some land for sure. Next turn we'll be able to buff one of our creatures. Probably Thalia to get her out of range of Bowmaster, but they're not even representing black. So they're screwed off an entire color because of our Wasteland, which is great. They're not dead on board, but like they actually are kind of dead on board because I can play up Thalia and then this is... No, they're not dead on board. They can definitely survive. Thalia is probably doing a lot of work over there. Invisible work. She never gets credit because you never really see how much she's jamming your opponents up. Plow. Well, that tells me how much work she was doing right there. Okay. So my opponent's tapped out. Do I think that they can win next turn? I don't. I think I just main phase this to get the energy. And I'll hold on to my plow. I'm off plow for this turn cycle, but next turn I can use it. So we'll attack with both, and I'll just buff my guide. They're going to have to probably throw this Ice Fang in front of something pretty soon. Yeah, like they have to do something this turn. Drop to 6. So they're dead on board. We've got... They're probably going to have to remove this before they can combo off, but they might have a line where they don't need to. They said, why did I register this awful card and not Baleful Strix? I couldn't tell you. Like, I don't even play it in my Aluren list, but I have played it in the recent Punishing Waterfalls deck. It's pretty good there. The Birthing Ritual deck. But that's because you're playing with tons of lands. I mean, like, 4-color... Like, where are you ever going to get the snow-covered lands when you're trying to have 4 different colors? There was a version of 4-color Stoneblade that was really chill back in the day that also played Ice Fang Quaddle, but I don't think that's ever going to see the light of day again. That was from a different era, before the Fire design, before Modern Horizons 3 truly, like, changed the game, and not necessarily in a good way. We got the game. Okay. So again, it's hard to know what they had in hand. It's hard to know how much work we were doing there. We did see Plow twice, so that's Mom, Fuel. But again, I do think that it's most likely Clarion Conqueror was good there. Disruptor Flute can shut off some things, but like, again, I think this is... Disruptor Flute is passive, whereas this is active. This is a Flip Delver coming at their face every turn. And also, this has the best... flavor text of any card. All challengers were summarily silenced. And this freaking dragon like shooting sonic booms at some poor fool and sitting him flying backward. At least that's what it looks like. The guy's just like, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to make any changes. Again, I could definitely see arguments for bringing in Disruptor Flute since they are a combo deck. But you can't actually stop Aluren. Aluren is like a static ability. It's not an activated ability. You can name Aluren, and then they'll never be able to cast it, but, you might lose to, like, a bunch of other stuff. They probably have, Witherbloom Command or Abrupt Decay or something that can clear this. Prismatic Ending, maybe? I think I'm just going to run it back. We're on the draw here. Wasteland is going to be really important. This is too... I'm I mean, this is like a end step Thalia into warp and search. I think it's too slow. It's 2 lands. I feel like we can do better. Yuck. Yeah, this is also going back. My opponent kept 7. This is the best hand we've seen. It's a double guide. And then Starfield Shepherd. I'll keep this. And I'll just put back Petal and a Shepherd. And then we use the Shepherd to go get the Ocelot Pride. And we'll just try to like basically linearly goldfish them without interacting. We unfortunately don't have an interactive hand. Thalia might interact in some ways. If they kill this, we have a backup one, which is nice. That's a blue source. Are you going to daze this? Brainstorm? And they were able to fetch a snow-covered island there. So they're a third of the way toward Death Touchy Ice Bag Coatl. I don't think we're going to win. Those mulligans were pretty rough. And also, I think it's an unfavorable matchup. We want to be beating fair decks, not fair decks that have like a combo element. So therefore, non-fair decks. We need them to get unlucky. That's basically how we win here. But we do have a pretty good, like, assuming they don't interact with us at all and don't combo our faces off on turn 4, we do have a pretty good line. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Screw it. Guide. They have interaction here. Brainstorm again. Sure. If we just guide twice, one of our guides is huge and we have tons of energy. I don't know if you've watched my Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, blue-white tempo lists, but there, I think, was one game where I got like all 4 guides and they were all like 3-4 smashing in the air like Delvers. And I raced a Murktide and like a bunch of other stuff with that. That was thanks to Mockingbird. So it wasn't all 4. It was like, I think 1 or 2 of them were Mockingbirds. Okay, this is a plow. That is okay. Now I'm going to attempt to do this again. This is the best card in my deck, by the way. So I drew 3 of the best card in my deck. That's pretty sweet. Next turn, I shep, and one of these will fly, and we'll go get the Ocelot Pride. And if we have a land, then we can just play it and then go to Card Advantage Heaven. But you know what? Card Advantage Heaven is not free from the reaches of a combo player who has assembled their Doomsday machine over there. That's a good draw. I think now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go get a land. Is that right? I think it is. Do you have another cantrip? Sure. Just drawing all the brainstorms. I'm drawing all the guys. I can't complain. They're drawing their best card. I'm drawing mine. But I think I'm probably dead next turn. They don't have double green yet. But like they've brainstormed 3 times to assemble, you know, an AB combo. I don't know if they're doing what I was doing, where I was playing 4 Allurens and 4 Strix or 4 Harpy. But if they are, they're very likely to have assembled a combo by now. Okay, that sucks for me. Okay, so I'm just going to go get the white source, and we're going to jam the Ocelot Pride, and we're going to hope that they don't have more removal. All right, and I'll go ahead and crank them for 3. It probably isn't fast enough, but we are going to get a bunch of cats. And as anybody who saw the classic film Cats, you know, the amazing piece of cinema that is that, you know, having a lot of cats is a very cool thing. Unless you happen to be in that audience watching that movie, then you're going to have a bunch of nightmare fuel. Sorry for anybody who doesn't know about the movie Cats. It's just one of the weird fever dream things that, like, I don't know how it came to pass, but it is a real thing. And you really should avoid it. I haven't actually watched it. I just watched some video essays about it. Okay, so this is where we die, unfortunately. To quote Johnny Cage, this is where you fall down. Yeah, and there are lots of different decisions that could have led to us not dying here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play this. That's going to give them like permission to just win. But I do want to attack with it. So we're dead. On the stack, they can just kill us now if they have the combo. And I feel it's unlikely they don't have the combo after brainstorming that many times. All right. So I think we just have to attack with everything here and hope that our creatures don't get too messed up. Let's see. So I can go ahead and just Thalia. I think I'm going to Thalia just to get this. So then I can, it sounds weird, but I want to hit for more. And this gives me the energy that I need to give Ocelot Pride additional power. So I would like to keep the Thalia that can actually attack. Then I'll attack with everything, and I'm not going to blink anything. Wait, I'll blink their Aluren. That way they can't do tricks post, like in the middle of combat. Okay, so this will happen first. This gets blinked out before I decide what I want to buff. They may have an Ice Fang Coatl that they can put in right now. They have their own Thalia, okay. They have Eternal Witness, regrowing a Plow, I presume. There's a brainstorm. Okay, so that's out. They can brainstorm next turn and probably just win. I would like to pay this to grant this the gift of flight and have some lifelink action going. Thalia probably just... Okay, Thalia's taking that out. Yeah, that's fine. So we gain some life. We do a bunch of damage here. Our Thalia will grow, but they've got a brainstorm to find their win con here. So we get a dude, a cat dude, and yeah, we're at 32 life. Like, they have to win through... They have 13 minutes on the clock. I could troll them by like actually making them click a whole bunch, but they probably, with 13 minutes, I'll just concede. But that is one thing you can do against the learn players. You can be that person that's like, oh yeah, so you got to learn, huh? Yeah, that's the combo that takes a long time to win, isn't it? I mean, if they don't find the combo, we're fine, but they most certainly are going to find something that's good. Half their deck is, you know, cantrips and removal spells. We do have them dead in the air if they don't find something by some miracle. Okay, they're passing to combat. They're going to blink Eternal Witness to get back a brainstorm probably. Oh, wait, to get a plow maybe to survive? That's fine too. They can just do this every turn. I'll just take the damage. And then I think it gets just plow back and they have white up so they can plow one of our... they could probably plow our Ocelot Pride to keep us from going crazy here, but we will still hit them in the air. I guess that brainstorm bricked. Unless they're just slow rolling me. Oh, gosh. I don't want to show them that. Yeah, there's nothing to be done. I'm just going to attack all. And hopefully they fear what I have in my hand. So in terms of blinking, I'll just blink Aluren again. So they can't do shenanigans. They don't know what's in my hand. I could have plow, right? This Starfield Shepherd was pretty stinky here. It got me up planes. They're plowing that dude. This goes out. They take... Oh, they have Channeler. Okay, this produces a blocker. They can bounce that to my hand. Okay. That gets phased out. They block. Oh, you just have the combo, dude. Just win. Don't mess around. Don't jerk me around if you just have the combo. Okay, good games. Round 3, we're 1-on-1 with our $500 deck. Fan of the channel, Snuggle Harbor on deck. This is not a keep, frankly. Even against an unknown opponent, it just doesn't do anything. This is fine. I can lead with Mom, and then... Yeah, I'll put back the redundant Thalia. Okay, Vault of Whispers. So this is Mono Black Saga Storm. They'll probably take Witch Enchanter, maybe? Our Mana Source? I haven't seen a Vault of Whispers in anything other than Black Saga Storm in a while. And that's not a good matchup, by the way. So I'm just going to play out the Mom, and if they have the Bowmasters, they have the Bowmasters. If they don't... Hey, at least we have... Like, by the way, this doesn't deal with the creatures that Black Saga Storm plays, which are Urza Saga constructs. Hopefully they're doing some cool brew and not Black Saga Storm. Just, I'd like to see more exciting brews like the one we played the first 2 rounds. And, less just getting stormed out when you're on a white deck. But the fact that they didn't do anything there tells me they're almost certainly on some form of combo. All right, so here I think this is like, Thalia does do stuff against them. I don't really want to go down in life. I'm just going to do this. And that will make it harder for them to win, especially when there's a Mom out. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to win. It just means it's going to be harder for them to win. So far, what it looks like we're playing is just like old school Death and Taxes. Before Bowmaster was printed in, completely shook up the archetype. Made it a black-white deck. Okay, there we go. So I think they're on combo. Damping Sphere, get in. Disruptor Flute. Deafening Silence, of course. I think Clarion Conqueror is insane here. So we're just going to... Are we going to bring in the whole sideboard? I don't think Leyline needs to come in, but... Yeah, I'm not going to bring in Leyline. So cards we don't care about. Frankly, Thalia, not important. Solitude, not really important. Starfield Shepherd, not super important. So what does Thalia do? She doesn't really do much of anything. I'm not sure that Mom is worthwhile here. That does give us room for Thalia, but like really we're just trying to get Thalia and ultimately Clarion Conqueror out. And I don't think you ever keep Mom in when you have Clarion Conqueror in your deck. This can get us the combo that wins pretty quickly. So I think Starfield Shepherd is probably the one card we keep here. I want to take out the Plows, and I'm going to keep the Solitudes in. Because I think there will be lots of situations where Solitude would be good as like a beater or something if the game goes on long enough. Or just has to remove something at a critical junction. Like they Bowmaster, and then they also have like a wheel type effect. Yeah, I think I'll just do it like this. Definitely an argument for bringing in Leyline. We'll see what this game brings. This is a double Thalia hand with Guide of Souls, but to some extent, like, I don't think it's fast enough. No, I'm going to keep it, and I'm just going to hope that they don't win turn 1. If they don't win turn 1, I can Wasteland them to destabilize them, and then I can start Guide of Souls. I'll keep... Let's think about this. I think I should mulligan, because if I get... yeah, I think I can do better than this. This is Disruptor Flute and Thalia, so immediately an upgrade to the previous hand. I'm going to keep... I'm going to put Shep back, and we have Solitude plus Shep. If we need it, Petal, are we even going to get a turn, or are we just dead? Thoughtseize. Okay, so they'll probably take Thalia here, and then I'll probably just wait on the Disruptor Flute. Not that I really have a choice. Like, if I draw something, I'll cast it, but... Okay, that's a freaking card. Holy guacamole. Can't Thoughtseize the top of my deck. I think that's just maybe game, like, depending on what they're doing over there. Okay, they have some sort of creature removal or deafening Boseiju. Sure. I'll go get a land. Okay. Now the Petal. All right. So they kind of 2-for-1 themselves to get rid of that. Hopefully we can draw another one. That'd be insane. All right, so options. Starfield Shepherd, we get a threat. Option number 2, we chill, we Thalia end step, and then we Starfield Shepherd, and we get 2 things. I like that better. Because then we can Disruptor Flute if we need to, depending on what they do. They only have 4 cards in hand. Okay, so this is Thalia here. And with Starfield Shepherd, I can get a Plains for one of those. If I don't draw one, I drew one. Okay, this is good. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and warp. And I think... Yeah, let's think about this. I think I just get Guide of Souls, and then the second one I can get an Ocelot Pride. But I can't really play out the Guide of Souls this turn cycle if I still want to be able to Disruptor Flute. Yeah, I think I just wait a turn cycle just in case I have to Disruptor Flute. I want to put pressure on the table, but I've already got 5 pressure. 5 power bearing down on them. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Disruptor Flute up. They know I have Disruptor Flute. All right, so I get the ability. And again, I'm like 99% confident that this doesn't warp out and that the warp trigger is just for an entity that didn't exist. And I'm right. Okay, so we have Disruptor Flute if they try to do some sort of beseech line. They're running low on life. I don't know if they use Ad Nauseam in that deck right now. Again, like, I'm not certain that's what they're on, but that's what I'm reading. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to name Beseech. I know that's kind of like being aggressive here, but like, yeah, I could have held. I might draw something really good, though. That doesn't count as something really good. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, I think I did punt by playing it out because like they may not have Beseech. They may have some other thing. All right, let's attack like this. And I'll just blink the... I'm going to blink the... Pride. Wait, if I blink Pride, it doesn't come back in. They're not going to beseech this turn anyway, so I can just blink this and then just get it back, and I'll name it. Okay. Yeah, because I want the end step trigger, and if it's not in play, then it doesn't get the end step trigger. They're at 10. They're dead on board. I'm going to gain some life here, and we'll just name Beseech again. I could name Dark Ritual. I think Beseech is a safer bet. And note that if they get very close to killing me, I can always Solitude my own guy to gain life. Oh, and I get the City's Blessing. So they're super duper dead on board. Okay, good games. That was a quick one. All right, we're 2-1 with our $600 deck. It's maybe $500, $400. I don't know. I'll do the math afterward, but it's definitely a cheap deck. See you in round 4. Round 4, we are 2-1. We have a likely Doomsday opponent, not just a likely Doomsday opponent, the Doomsday opponent. This hand is fine. I like the Solitude as a way that we can potentially interact. If they have a fast Doomsday, we can force them to clear their pile, which usually Doomsday players can do. We can lead with Ocelot Pride, which is a must answer a threat, and then we can Thalia to potentially make their life a little less pleasant. Let's keep this. It's not a great matchup, but we do have a lot of offensive pressure with this hand. They rolled a 5. All right. So there's a chance that they interpret this as my blue-white. If they're, I don't know how familiar Michael Reed is with my channel, but there was a long time where I was playing a whole lot of this. That is fine. I think I just Thalia and then Solitude that. That is aggressive, but the Starfield Shepherd, I mean, if I want to slow down, I feel like Thalia is pretty strong here. And that stops them from being able to interact meaningfully. They may daze this. They do daze it. So I will go ahead and just attack here. Do I want to just clear this so I don't have to deal with them getting... There is a risk that they flip her. I'm just going to go ahead and try this. And I will flip... I'll pitch Thalia. I think I'm going to pitch Plow. And the reason I'm doing this may seem extremely aggressive, is, first of all, I'm doing an extra damage, which does matter against Doomsday. And second, they're not going to be able to just brainstorm next turn, which is like a very real threat. So we'll see if they have the Dark Ritual Doomsday. And this way I can keep this, and this can go get... Okay, DRC. Interesting. So they're just on Grixis tempo. Well, I like our positioning here. I think the play here is... We could Starfield Shepherd here. I kind of... Like, we know they have Underground Sea in hand. We could Shepherd for the guy that gives us life. I like that, actually, rather than wasting them. And then next turn, we should be able to... Yeah, I'm going to try this. Guide of Souls. Now we've got the combo. I'll just go ahead and guide here. And I'll just attack with both. If they want to block here, they can. It's not even close to Delirious. So now we're going to gain life and get some energy as well, I believe. It warps out. Yeah. And so we're very far ahead. This Sculpture, that's fine. But this means they're probably doing something unfair if they're playing at main deck. So options. I do want to probably waste them off a land. I can put this into play, and then I gain a life. Then I attack. They can block here. So it's whenever a creature enters. It's not whenever I gain life. But I will gain life to proc this. Oh wait, I have a card draw, of course. Let's draw. Okay, that's unfortunate, but this does get us closer to Starfield Shepherd. I think at this point I just cast this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and gain the energy. We'll gain the life. So if I crash this into this, then I do get a card. I can gain a life first. I'll gain 2 life. Yeah, I'm just going to gain 2 life here, and then I get a card. I just have to stack it right. So I want this to go on the stack first, so I get the draw trigger after this happens. So this happens. Now I gain a life. We gain some life. Gain some more life. Now we get a card. Okay, and this can still be cast even though it just dies. So they could have some sort of combo going here. It's interesting because like every single round, it's been ambiguous what we're playing against. This has been a great league. Okay, and they just scooped to that. All right, so here we know... it's confusing because obviously Squelcher is an unfair card. They're almost certainly playing Bowmaster, I would imagine. I think Clarion Conqueror, let's think about this. So Squelcher doesn't have activated abilities. The only activated abilities we've seen have been from Tamio herself. My instinct is just to not sideboard here. Yeah, because we've got powerful counterplay. If they don't have something unfair they're doing, we're the better fair deck probably. I suspect they are doing something unfair. I'm just not sure what it is. This hand has Solitude. It's not terrible. It has a Crocus too, which is a good answer to Tamio. I think I'm going to keep this. And if they just turn 1 Tamio, I'll just bounce it right back to hand. Then they'll have to play her out, and when they attempt to... Okay, so this is DRC, the best red creature ever printed, basically. The best 1-drop in Legacy. I think she is better than Tamio. I've made that point many times, and you may not agree with it. So I think we just leave this. It's going to generate some value, but it's not the end of the world. I could just warp this to gain life. They have an aggro deck here. We gain a life. It's not that bad. And then it's in warp where I can't get hit by Thoughtseize. I think that's fine. All right, and we'll just pass from here. Yeah, not a remarkable opening. I put like petals and stuff like that because I wanted to be able to do more stuff than that. But yeah, maybe I should have just solituded it, but they're binning a force. So they are close to Delirium. Another DRC. Okay. Do they have a 0 drop, or are they just going to hit me for 1? Okay, LED. So this tells me they're doing something illegal. Not illegal, but something sketchy. All right, that's fine. This could be Dredge. I don't think it's Dredge. We haven't seen Moonshadow. That's a card that I've been playing with DRC. Okay, Street Wraith. I imagine that this is a Moonshadow deck. I have the option of just clearing one of these, saving myself 3 life. I can probably safely pitch the Witch Enchanter here. I think I want to do that just to save some life. I'll want to clear it eventually. Again, I'm not sure what the unfair angle to their deck is. The longer I can survive, the more information I can glean here. And I put Solitude in my deck to use it, right? Okay, this Plow is pretty good, actually. I think I just Plow now to deny them draws. Yeah, and then next turn I'll Starfell Shepherd, and it's possible that I draw a Thalia between now and then. They've got a lot of mana, and they're not doing anything. This is good for us. I'm just worried about the LED. What is that in there for? Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Shep, and I'm just going to put the one that can't be Bowmastered into play this turn, assuming this works. Let's get Guide. Let's play out our Guide. They are fetching Dark Ritual. Uh-oh. Is this like Ad Nauseam or something? They have 22 life. Okay, just a hard cast Force of Will. That's fine. That was kind of a 2-for-1. Like, as the game goes, like if they're not doing anything exciting, I've got lots of stuff on deck. Yeah, more land. Well, they're getting really screwed over there. Well, I think I just go for land here. And then we're getting very close to casting a lot of stuff out of our hand. So Guide goes first. Okay, are they gonna force it again? What's going on here? Okay, Undercity Sewers to Surveil. Okay, they kept the top card. I mean, they could have a board wipe or yield. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm in a good position, but the problem is I don't know what they're doing over there. Okay, so we've got our board presence. We've got tons of life. Are we going to die to a combo? Doomsday. Okay, so I think there's a very real chance that we just can't win from here because we can't. Our damage output's not going to be that high. We can Thalia next turn, which gives us another card in the instep. We might be able to draw a Plow, but they've already got the LED on the table. I'm really looking forward to them exiling their deck so I can see what's in their deck. They did choose Street right there. So I imagine they're going to clear their pile. They may have like a Brainstorm so they can just rip into their deck right now. They are, again, like an extremely experienced Doomsday pilot. Like people pay money for their sideboard guides and stuff, right? Okay, so let's take a look at their list. This will at least inform our sideboarding strategy. Okay, so I see the 4 DRCs, or 3 DRCs, rather. I see 3 Tamio. Those are the only creatures in the deck. Long Goodbye, a Braid. Let's go ahead and do the Buffalo Chicken Dip Fop real quick. I see all 4 forces. I assume an Oracle's in here. I don't see any Cyclers. The Cavern's out. So I presume they have Cyclers in their deck is what I'm saying. All 4 Brainstorms are out. I only see 2 Dazes. Usually they play 3, but they have played 4. I've played against them and they've had 4 before. I don't imagine they have Petals or any mana sources in there. So what I think they're... Oh, and for Disruption, I see a single Thoughtseize, which I'm actually surprised they even have a Thoughtseize in against my pure aggro deck. They don't know that it's a pure aggro deck. Maybe the previous game ended fast enough they didn't realize. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to sideboard here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go to combat, though. There's not any one card we could draw here that could win it for us. We can do a lot of damage. That probably doesn't do enough. I think I'm better off Thaliaing here, because Thalia draws me an extra card, and we will get this buffed so we can hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not nearly enough. They're going to definitely win here. I think it's probably better to play Thalia, though, just because maybe that screws up their line a little bit. They have so much mana. Okay, so I think the game's over. I don't think Thalia will be a meaningful speed bump here. They're dead on board, but I think they'll be able to win here. Street Wraith, they don't need to clear their pile, so they probably built their pile to where they didn't need to clear it. They can just win right now. Okay, yeah, and they do win. Good game. Okay. So now that we know they're on Doomsday, how does that change things? Well, I think just naming Doomsday with Disruptor Flute is probably going to be pretty good. They would have been able to pay for it. I don't think Deafening Silence is the play, although it does stop Dark Ritual Doomsday. If you look at that last turn, they only cast one spell, and it was a creature spell, so it doesn't really matter. This is a trap. You don't want that. They didn't do any multi-mana stuff. So really, we just don't have a good sideboard strategy here. I do think Thalia is relevant here. We just need to cut 3 cards. I think Mother of Runes can come out. I'm not going to cut my mana sources, but I will cut one Thalia. Let's do it. This is Ocelot Pride. And then turn 2, we can go get the Guided Souls. We can attack with Ocelot Pride. If they, let's see. We play this out, and then, of course, we want to start growing it immediately. I can't get behind this. It doesn't have any interaction. It just feels way too slow. And they're going to try to turbo. So they're going to mull to turbo. They mill. Yeah, they're mulling. So this says turn 1 Disruptor Flute. And then we just named Doomsday. And we can do that turn 1 in case they had a turn 1 Doomsday line. They're probably not going to force it. And then we just Guide a Souls. Yeah, I like this. So I'll keep this, and I think I can put back the Plains. I didn't see any Wastelands in there. Did I? I didn't look. I doubt they're playing Wasteland. So there is a line where I wait till they Dark Ritual and then I cast the Disruptor Flute. But they could have days, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to get this on the table and hope that they can't clear it. This forces them to fight me fair. Okay, they forced that. So that was a 2 for 2. So they're going to drop to 5 cards. Don't have it. Okay, they didn't have the protected turn 1. All right, best draw is probably just a land. Yeah, perfect. So what I can do is I can just go guide. And you always guide before you do these other creatures. I am going to warp this just to gain some life and energy. And then, yeah, we don't have quite enough. So she warps out. If I had waited, I could have like bounced her and just done that every turn to take up my Guided Souls. Doesn't feel that strong. Yeah, maybe I should have waited. Witch Enchanter does get me closer. Wait, I can Thalia this turn. All right, hopefully this works. Okay, it does work. So that gives me a bigger attacker. I am going to come across. I'm just going to do as much damage as I can. Okay, I didn't gain enough life yet. They're fetching, surveil. I mean, all they need is Underground Sea, Doomsday, and I don't think we can catch up. But if they don't totally clear their pile, we may have Solitude. But I'm not sure that I would hold anything. Yeah, they have it. Damn. All right. All right, we're probably going to lose. Again, like I didn't expect us to win, frankly. I didn't expect us to win the Black Saga Storm. We just got extremely lucky. Okay, and we can just see if they just win. It looks like they're just going to go ahead and win right now. So here comes the LED, and then they just consider, clear the pile, and what? Badlands? Interesting. Street Wraith, okay. I don't know why they chose Badlands there. It doesn't really matter. They've got this. Consider, they clear the pile. Maybe the Badlands was the card in hand. Okay. Yeah, good games. Well played. I like your brew. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. We wouldn't have been able to clear any of that stuff, unfortunately. They had the protected, I think, turn 2. It might have been turn 3. Final round, we're 2-2. We're up against Philip J. Fly, a frequent opponent of mine. Very chill person. Our hand is good. We can turn 1 Thalia, which is nice. We can also... Yeah, we've got a lot of interaction if they're on a creature strategy. I have no idea what they are on. They're always changing like me. They like to play a variety of decks. Ancient Tomb. Okay, there's no Chalice. That's a win. However, that does make me think that Thalia is not going to be particularly strong here. And of course, we draw another Thalia. But Thalia can be good fodder. I think I am going to play her out. She's a beater. They're unlikely to be on Bowmaster. They actually forced that. Okay, they're on the big mana deck. All right, well, that's a 2 for 1. But it's actually a 2 for 2 because I use the Petal. Petal's so good. Like, I don't know if you remember previous round against Doomsday. I was able to turn 1. Oh, they don't have anything. That's good for me. They're mana screwed. Well, here I think we Thalia again, and then I Thalia the subsequent turn. I just want to make sure that they're mana screwed. I don't want them to be able to like stock up or anything. Okay, that's in. Because if they find an island and they can stock up, like this keeps them from being able to do that. All right, there we go. Now I'd love to find a Wasteland. They've been a stock up. Okay, they're definitely on the... They're on Omnitel. They're on Omnitel. Okay, well, this is good because I could Thalia right now, and that increases our clock, and then I could just Thalia at my leisure. I'd rather Thalia and do more damage than Thalia here. And I'll most likely, if they put like some sort of crazy monster on the stack like Emrakul, I can just Solitude. Emrakul is not pro ability of colored. They say, whoa, what a cool card. It is a cool card. I love this card. I've been professing my love for it throughout the entire thing. They just pay like casual tap Ancient Tomb to cast Ponder. This Thalia is doing some work. All right, and they have another one. Yeah, this is definitely like some sort of Omnitel because they're playing green for Veil of Summer. They've been a show and tell, so they have multiple show and tells. So they're probably going to Omni next turn, which is death. Let's see. I can do this. Okay, so check this out. This isn't going to work, is it? She sees herself, and I don't think I get the ability when she goes on the stack. I think she dies immediately before when the trigger goes on the stack, so I can't Thalia. So I'll just Thalia now. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and warp her. I don't think it's going to work, but yeah. Oh, so these both see each other. Okay, so I am going to gain it. I am going to get a card here. So I'll keep this one. Yeah, she does die. I wouldn't have been able to respond with the Thalia because it's a state-based thing. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to get enough life here. And now I'll attack for 5. It's probably not enough. I can Solitude to prevent death to an Emrakul strike. They're at 10, so they're dead in 2 hits. So I get my card. What is it? Another Plans. Okay, I can play that next turn. Doesn't really matter. All that matters is, okay, show and tell. I'm not going to respond. Oh, wait, I can put a Plains in, sure. They have Aluren. Formidable Speaker. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it. So what are they going to get here? I think they're going to get the dungeon guy, and then I can just exile him. This is a good blocker. Yeah, so they're going to go for the Isorag. He enters play. When he enters play, his ability goes on the stack, and this is where I make my move. And do you have the force? The game is not over. Okay, they gain a bunch of life. Acerag's ability, they enter some random dungeon. It doesn't matter. This card sucks. It's like a terrible card, but it's good with Aluren. And it's a total pain to play on MTGO, by the way. Okay, so they're entering some random mine. Like basically the initiative mine is the initiative dungeon is the only dungeon that's any good. So when this enters, you can discard a card. So I don't want to push it out of the way. Unfortunately, this is an extremely good blocker. Yeah. Huh. So let's think about this. I don't actually have a way to kill them, sadly. I need to gain life. So if I let them search, they'll just go get another one. So I definitely don't want to do that. Oh man, the fact that this has that ETB, they still have a card. If they didn't have that card, I would be able to push them out of the way. I think, do I want to kamikaze here? Yeah, so if I attack, she dies. Oh man, the fact that it's 2/4, they really buffed up the toughness on this guy. Yeah, I don't actually have any plays. If I play this out, I just totally give the game away that I've got no plays. Yeah, Thalia dying on combat, they'll just search for the guy. I just can't do anything. Yeah, 2/4 is just too powerful. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think I just need to pass. I'm not going to show them what's in my hand. Yeah, no life gain, so hopefully they don't have another one of these. Stock up would be pretty brutal because that'll probably find something that they can use. They can also use this to untap this. Yeah, stock up. Yeah, I think we're dead. Unfortunate. We could rip like a Witch Enchanter to blow this up. That would be good. Okay, so let's just hope they don't make the mistake of attacking. All right, come on. Give me a Witch Enchanter. Wasteland is not terrible, but it doesn't really accomplish anything here. I think I do waste them off this just to reduce the total amount of mana they have access to. Again, it feels bad when we're an aggro deck and we're doing that, but I still don't have good attacks. I don't want to kamikaze Thalia just to get like a life gain trigger, and that's the only thing I can do here. They're fetching in the instep. They have yet another. Okay, it's just an island. They're at 10 health. Like, man, what a body. I didn't realize it was a 2/4. I figured it was like a 2/2 or a 3/3, but it's just like the fact that it's exactly 2/4 is completely screwing us here. Yeah, if they find the other one, I think they play like 4 of them for the dungeon guy. And sadly, I pitched my plow to exile that guy. I didn't have the mana to pay around Thalia because I had to pay the Thalia tax. Hoisted by my own petard. Okay, they have to have found it by now. Come on, give me something good. I mean, that's a good card. That's life gain. But it doesn't get me to where I need to go. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Oh, I don't even need to pay mana for it. Do I want to instant speed it? Is there any rationale to not just... I guess I could just send the attacker and see what they do. I'm almost certain they're just going to block. They block, and I don't actually have any trick. I was just screwing around. Now, I'll hold these 2 cards. I can just play this at any time. It doesn't matter. I'll just play it in the end step next turn. I wouldn't have been able to gain 3 life, so I wouldn't have gotten an extra card. I have to imagine we're dead here. More cantripping. The cantripping will continue until morale improves. Brainstorm? Sure. Again, it's insane that I'm not dead. It's actually possible that like I draw a second card and I can gain life by showing this. Yeah, I think actually it's better to wait since I'm not going to use it this turn cycle. Oh my goodness. Just breaking. Well, it probably does make sense to play this out at this point and I'll just pass. I mean, I need more than one thing. I can't give them the ability to search because I'm almost certain they have a second one of those guys in their deck and then they just win at instant speed the second they have it in their hand. I feel like you'd be completely crazy not to play more than one because it's so brittle. Like if anybody plows it or somehow kills it when it's on this, like with this bounce trigger on the stack, you just lose and you don't have a way to win. And I think that's the main way of winning is just with that dungeon guy. All right, give me a second creature, please. Okay, that is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Play this out so that this gets seen. I'm going to get a card either way. Please force this. Oh, they scooped that? What? Why did they scoop? I'm not sure what precipitated that scooping. Huh, interesting. Okay, well, Conqueror doesn't actually stop the combo, sadly. Deafening Silence doesn't either. I think Disruptor Flute is like secretly a 4 of. Card just cracked here. I mean, Damping Sphere actually does. Yeah, Damping Sphere does stop them from comboing off hilariously. So maybe I should bring that in. Cards that don't matter. I'm not expecting Mother of Runes to do anything. Technically, it could have given us protection to attack through. We definitely want to go up to 4 Thalia. Like after this league, I'm definitely going to go up to 4. And I think I'll probably get rid of Mom. And I'm thinking about going up to 4 Disruptor Flute. It was really good in the Doomsday. We didn't win because they had Force, but it would have been really good. So just because somebody forces your card, that's actually like a vote of confidence for the card. If people are forcing your card, that means you're playing the right card. Here, I think we can go down Plow since we have Solitude, and Solitude is very good if the game gets into like they didn't know it, but they were kind of screwed to this as well. It is a creature-centric combo, but I think 2 is enough, and I don't want to let up at all on the gas. Let's do it. I'm just so excited. Like, every single round has showcased the diversity of Legacy right now. Like, if you're complaining about the Legacy meta, like, what is there to complain about? Like, the bans basically made the meta perfect to where you can play whatever you want. The fact that I'm, like, not 0-5ing with this, $500 Guide to Souls Thalia deck. It's pretty rad. And I think this is a keep because Disruptor Flute should be able to, like, unless they have a very fast, like, okay, yeah, and this isn't a very fast opening. I do want to get things on the table first. They could go for Show and Tell. What I can do is I can Disruptor Flute as my permanent, and then I can lock off, I don't know, that one guy, the actual Wincon. Yeah, I'll have to look him up to figure out what his name is. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to lead with this. And we're just going to get on the board first. I'd like to get Thalia out as well. But yeah, I think if we'll get to see what they put in because these both come in and then the trigger goes on the stack. So Aluren can't be needled, but the dungeon guy can. And I do believe that's their main win con. By the way, they have to put like literally hundreds of triggers on the stack to win. I'm not going to make a chill opponent like Philip J. Fly actually go through all that, but it is just know that if you're like, oh wow, this looks really fun, I want to try that. To actually win with what's his name is a lot of triggers. Okay, so we'll see what they get here. They have to reveal it. And then we just name that card. They've been a land. Atraxa. Okay, so that means they have show and tell. So we're going to needle show and tell here. Yeah, I think I just need to do this. Hopefully they don't have a force. They do have a force. Okay, so we're facing Atraxa, which is tough. I mean, we could, in theory, outvalue Atraxa. It will not be easy. I think when they do this, I am going to put in Thalia. Huh, they're not doing it. They don't have... maybe they're choosing to attack first. I don't know. Do some damage. That makes sense. If I were them, I'd just be hanging back. This is an incredible blocker. Blocks basically every creature in my deck. Okay, so they don't have it. Okay, so options. One, we could Thalia, and then we could waste their tomb. I like that. Because this means that when they do find it, they're going to need 2 more mana sources to cast it. My main regret about this deck is it doesn't leverage Thalia as much as it could. It has 8 warp creatures, but that doesn't feel like it's enough. So next turn, what I'll do is I can only do one of these because the Thalia attacks. But I do want to actually needle show and tell. And I keep saying needle because it's like pithing needle, but like flute. It's the same thing, but like I'm going to continue to call it needle because I'm going to flute show and tell. It seems like a weird thing to say. Other options, we could get an extra card. We could get on the board. If they do show and tell, we just put in flute and name that dungeon guy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and try this because I do want that extra card. And this will allow me to hit for more and go airborne. And I don't believe they have a lot of removal in their deck. So I can go ahead and just buff Thalia here for a little bit of extra damage. It's like 1 extra damage as opposed to buffing Guide of Souls. Okay, they're fetching here. Uh-oh. Oh, it's just a Surveil. Okay, they dumped a Disruptor Flute of their own. Everybody's playing this card. Yeah, so she's going to be a 4/3 flyer. Okay, and then we get a card off of Thalia. And then next turn we can just play her. That Lotus Petal is kind of an unfortunate draw. It doesn't really do a lot. Okay, here's the... Oh, stock up. Thank goodness. Okay, you can stock up. That's fine. I will allow it. Okay, double Disruptor Flute. I think we just flute naming show and tell. They can't... And then we just attack for another 4. We could play risky games with blinking this out of play to just get more damage. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts them on a 2-turn clock, and they get to look for a creature. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Oh, I should have played it out when Thalia was out. I forgot that it makes mana. And I'll just do this, and we'll name show and tell. And then I think I'm going to do it. What other creatures could they have? I'm playing with fire here, but I do want to get them dead. They scooped. Okay, we got the 3/2 with our $600 deck. I just want to emphasize, we actually didn't even give up games in some of those matchups. Like this was very good. So, yeah, we only lost... Yeah, we got 2 2-0s, and then we lost to Doomsday, and we lost to Charbel on another Aluren deck. Aluren's everywhere right now. It is a reserve list card, but if you want to watch some, like, less kind of like brewy, like I just play just good cards, Aluren, but I've got some leagues with it, so that was cool. Let's talk about the list. So again, I think Mother of Runes is just not powerful enough, and I think Thalia was insane. The entire league. We could add a land. I did never really feel choked on land. I thought the Petal was exceptional. I think Petal is so much better than Aether Vial is here. Like Aether Vial in theory, yeah, I could have like leveled up. So what I said about Thalia not getting enough value, there just weren't enough things to blink. Like blinking, and I was impressed with Thalia the entire time. Blinking this is great, but it does require a lot of turns of setup. I feel like we need to find another card to go in that slot. Also, I think this Damping Sphere is fine, but like Disruptor Flute is so good. I just want to play 4 because this comes in against like, you know, you just name like Dark Ritual or you name LED. Well, actually LED doesn't work because it's a mana ability. Dark Ritual does stop the cast ability because it's not considered a mana ability. But you can also name, like I think we named Beseech. You can name Cutting Wish if you're up against Omniscience. You can name Show and Tell, of course. There are a lot of things you can name, and this just is a great, like if you look at our sideboard, it's all anti-combo essentially because our main deck, look at this. What is it doing? Whoa, I get to scrub the card out. I don't know what's going on with this interface. Kind of trippy. Okay, but Witch Enchanter would have been a good top deck when they had Aluren out. It does feel like the deck's not as explosive as I want it to be. And it's also not as prison as I want it to be. Like the only real prison card is Thalia and the Wastelands. Without, like, the obvious answer is just splash black and then you can put in Bowmaster and Thoughtseize. And yeah, if you have the Scrublands, I do think that would be superior, frankly. You don't need to go full, because like Guided Souls has great synergy with Bowmasters, like double trigger, and Bowmasters just fits right into this deck, in my opinion. It's something you can blink with Thalia. It'd be great. So like if I had the resources, like hypothetically, like I actually do own the Scrublands, but like if I was trying to play on a budget, what I would do is I would probably just, add a bunch of Scrublands real quick, and then you have to add a bunch of fetches. So let's just say that like I did that change to this sideboard. I don't want to bother doing it because I'm not going to play that deck. But unless you want me to play that deck, let me know and I will. But Thoughtseize and Bowmasters, those are the only two black cards that we need, frankly. The other ones are not necessary. Baragoyf is fine in the sideboard, but I feel like we're already winning fair matches, and then we bring in these Thoughtseizes, and then we take out probably. I mean, we might want to take out Thalia completely since we have Thoughtseize, and she's not that powerful because we just increased our creature count or our non-creature spell count, and then I bring in the Bowmasters. Bowmasters could probably replace, Thalia. We could go 3 Thalia, but Bowmasters would be a 4 of. Yeah, and there's one more substitution that needs to be made. You could go down to like 3 Thalia, and then you don't have 4 of any of your legendaries, which is nice, not having to worry about that. And then at the sideboard, you don't need to make any changes. Deafening Silence kind of sucks. It's not a great card. What you could do, but it is a card that is decisive against Storm. What you could do is you could just change this out for like Duress or something. Like it's totally reasonable to play Duress if your opponent's like on it. You just take out your plows and you bring in your Duress. But then you have to worry about, of course, Hexing Squelcher, which is a creature. But I feel like Duress against those combo decks, and then, the mana base, I still think Lotus Petal is really good here. And you would probably have a better deck overall. Let me go ahead and do it real quick. Okay, so here, this is actually no reserve list. Since you're playing the Lotus Petals, in theory, like you might be able to get, like we can do some sample hands, but I'll kind of show you what I mean. There's a sample hand. Okay, so these are some sample hands. You don't seem to be able to make this any bigger, so hopefully you can see it. But yeah, this would be fine because you'd have the plains. You just need to make sure you have a plains in every hand. But with the Lotus Petals, so this would have to get Swamp, and then that could Thoughtseize turn 1, and then you have Guided Souls, but you're not going to be able to do Guided Souls unless you want to play Backstreet, which I don't like playing in this type of deck. I don't think it's necessary. I think people overplay the Surveillance. I mean, they're fine. This would be a mulligan. This is going to be fine because you can land Ocelot Pride, land, and then we'll see how long it takes us to get a... Oh, no, I got to scroll. Okay. How long it takes us to get a black source. We have 9 black sources in the deck. I don't think you want to play the second swamp. Okay, and then we get a black source and we finally get to play out the Bowmaster. Let's take another hand. So this is what I mean by like Scrubland. Like the dual lands pull so much freaking weight. People don't really appreciate it until they have to play without them. But I can tell you as somebody who's recorded like 50 leagues, I think this might be like the 50th no reserve list league I've done. You just constantly run into situations where you're like, damn, why am I playing a 2-color deck? Let's try this again. Okay, so this is fine. This is actually like precisely what you want to see. But I don't like the shock lands because they get wasted and it's just like another point of vulnerability. Like I have gone back and forth on shock lands. I even am playing this card called Fabled Passage in some of my builds, which I don't know if any of those have made it to public, but I've been brewing a lot and I am going to play a lot more no reserve list. But like this is an insane hand, obviously. Like just having these two and having a Wasteland,
This is not spectacular. And one of the problems with Thalia is she's so cheap, you just want to play her. But you do have to kind of wait. Let's see what cards we would hear. Oh, yeah, this would probably work out. So I think like with a lot of these aggro decks, this is a great exercise just to see, okay, is my mana, like I know statistically in theory, but as Yogi Berra says, in theory, there's no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is. You will encounter a lot of situations, but this is like a ideal hand. Thoughtseize, and I think Thoughtseize is so powerful by itself that it almost just fixes combo matchups. But this is precisely the kind of hand I was telling you. Like, okay, you're obviously going to want to get black here, so you can Thoughtseize 2 turns in a row and cast your Bowmasters on curve if you want to. But then when do you get the planes? Okay, you get the planes next turn. That's not bad. And here, and again, like keep in mind, you would have shuffled, so you would have gotten a random card, but the odds of you getting the land are basically the same. You are slightly, like this slightly exaggerates your likelihood of drawing a land because you didn't pull a land out of your deck, but it's close enough to develop your intuition for whether this is a snap keep. So what you want to be doing generally is like keeping probably like at least 60 or 70% of your hands. And then it's also nice when you do a mulligan, you just put one back. So let's think about this. This is only one colored source, but it's got turn 2 Thalia, and then we have the option to start wasting them. We can go get a Ocelot Pride here if we want to. This is a very, I would snap keep this because this is Plains, Guide, Petal, Ocelot Pride. And that's one of the reasons to be playing Petal over a freaking Vial. Vial, okay, you're 2 turns later, you've made this impactful play. No, we've got the freaking combo on turn 1. You need to be looking in Legacy. You need to be looking for the powerful thing you can do. That's why Dark Ritual is so important. That's why Lotus Petal is so important. That's why Ancient Tomb is the best card in Legacy. Let's take another one. Yeah. So this is Shock, Guide, Shock. Petal. This is another insane hand. This is one of the things. This is the most powerful thing the deck can be doing is Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride in the same turn cycle. And here's another one, just insane. But it's across 2 turns, which is not as good. But we can even use this if combat is stalled up. We can't. No, because we could Guide and then we next turn shock this in and we Pride and we can Thalia and we'll have gained enough life. We Thalia first, then we Ocelot Pride. We gain 3 there because the Guide sees this and then you get an extra card. I mean, Thalia is freaking insane. Card draw in white. It's rare. But Thalia gives it to you. She is just an insane card, in my opinion. Okay, so I've waxed poetically enough about her. This is another insane hand. But what I like about the deck is its simplicity. But once you introduce black, it does complicate the simplicity, but it's still a good deck. And I think that a lot of people are playing traditional Death and Taxes and playing Vial and playing freaking Recruiter of the Guard and stuff like that. It's too slow. It's too slow. Starfield Shepherd is like a power corrupt Recruiter of the Guard. Yeah, I can only get one of your 2 combo cards, Guide of Souls or your Ocelot Pride, or not. Oh, Plains, which is relevant. It comes up all the time for me, but that's good enough. And importantly, we have perfect mana here. Let's do another one. So this would just be a mulligan. And then what we would do here is we'd probably put back a land. In this case, we could just put back Witch Enchanter. No, we could put back Bowmaster unless we expect that it's really good. And then we've just got all white hand. And yeah, we don't even draw any black cards for a while, so it doesn't matter. And one of the beauties of playing just 8 black cards in your deck is you don't really need it. And if you really need it, against combo, then you're going to just fetch it. And who cares about your white cards? You just need to stop them and then stabilize, and then you can go do stuff. By the way, this is a sweet looking swamp from Onslaught Block. All right, well, that's all I have for today. I had a blast playing this deck. I'm so happy we positive recorded with it because I'm always worried that I'm going to just get destroyed when I queue in with something this fair. But I guess leave a comment if you want to see me play the black-white version of this without the backstreets and without the scrublands and all that stuff, just the simple mana base. One of the things that is notable is because we have Starfield Shepherd, in theory, we could get a Swamp and Petal and then Starfield Shepherd to go get our Plains. But I think Petal is what makes this mana base viable. And I do think that 19 lands, it's a lot of land, isn't it? 19 lands plus 4 Witch Enchanter plus 4 Petals is right? I think it's counting right. That's crazy amount of mana. I didn't realize I was playing with that much. Am I playing with that much in the other one? Yeah, I was playing 19 land here. So I think the mana volume is great. And so let's just pull up the deck that we played today. Again, the only change I made to this version is I took out the Damping Sphere and I just put in the 4th Disruptor Flute. So that'll be what the deck list shows. But like, there's just a beauty in it. And I guess you could add like Spirit of the Labyrinth. I don't know what to add. Spirit of the Labyrinth is a 2-drop, and I feel like we've got enough 1-drops. But maybe just one mom, just cheeky one of Mother of Runes is fine, because it is a cheap creature that helps you, trigger guide and stuff. And it can occasionally be relevant. And maybe they play around it. They're like, oh, I've got a boarding extra removal because they got Mother of Runes. Oh, I've actually only got one. Also, who doesn't love Mother of Runes? Like, it's just such a wholesome card. My family protects all families. Shout out to Mother of Runes. May you forever be played in, like, gosh, what formats is this even legal? I think it might be used in pre-modern. Even if it falls off in Legacy, like, this is just an iconic Magic card. And it is like the whitest of the cards in terms of, like, it's just like a really wholesome, helpful card. She's like got her overstuffed bookshelf that's about to collapse, sitting there drinking her tea in her cool wizard robe. Love it. So until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.